So, we are back in number 3 of this series of what is thinking, what is thought, what does it do, what is it good for. In the previous one, we talked about that actually thinking, which happens through the function of the brain, material process. I think I said mechanical process, but I meant material process. Then thought is born, and thinking, through thinking, we do our living. So we understood that actually thinking, along with our consciousness, the information that is there, all the conditioning and dogmas and beliefs, traditions, religions, everything else that we've come to know and exposed to and experience, is forming, creating us, me, the me. And through that, we negotiate life. So, thought, along with that, is actually doing the living. We're living through thoughts. Which comes to bring us to the idea, after we left it, we said also meditation is one way to bring about that replenishment of the energy, which helps us to survive, and through thinking that our mind enters in this frequency of being able to decrease the ripples of mind, activity of mind, so it can accept the energy of the universe, which automatically happens through sleeping, but we can do that through meditation, which is again is learning how to focus the mind, brings the mind to infinitely imperceptible ripples, decreasing ripples, and to create that catalyst environment, condition that the mind can accept universal energy. So thought has a lot to do with creating this environment, this condition that we can accept the energy of the universe. By not thinking, that is created. So, as we explained in the other video. So, why is it then, if mind is so important, why is it that we are not paying so much attention to its well-being? We pay so much attention to our body, we go to the gym, we eat healthy, we learn what is proper nourishment for us, and so on and so forth. And when we come home from work, let's say, you sit on the couch, put your feet up, so I gotta put my feet up because I'm tired and stuff. Okay, great, you take care of yourself, that's good. But what about taking care of your mind? You never say, let me take the load off of my mind. You say, let me take the load off of my feet. But in fact, everything that you did with that body that you say is tired, it was first done and orchestrated by your mind. Everything you do through your body is orchestrated and thought of, planned for by the mind, by the thoughts. So, in fact, when you sit down and rest, even if your body in many parts of your life is not doing anything, but the mind is still working. So the mind actually works more than your body, because everything that the body does, the mind thinks of it first and orchestrates it and directs it. But often when the body is not doing anything, the mind still works. So not that everything that the mind does, the body actually is turning into physical activity. There are lots of things that the mind does on its own, and the body is resting. While the body is resting, the mind is still thinking. How often have you been sitting around and daydreaming or thinking about things, and even though your body is not active? So with that kind of a load that the mind takes, and takes all the other challenges and thinking about whatever it is that goes into your life, your responsibilities, your projects, your family, whatever it is that you're handling, you're not giving any time to rejuvenate or replenish the mind, or take the load off of your mind. But you do that for your body. So it is very important to learn how to meditate and relax, or take the load off of your mind, that how important this mind is in relation to bringing more energy from the universal energy that flows through the universe, from one end of the universe to the other, from all directions, and passes through you. And you should be able to have a way to know how to bring yourself to that relaxing environment, relaxing mode, so you can accept that energy. So mind in your survival is very important, and you should take care of it by learning techniques of meditation and so on and so forth, so you can relieve it from all this weight that is carrying. So let's don't forget that. Now, we come to the portion that we talk about what is thought. Where does thought comes from? So far we proved, or we discussed, that we live through thinking. The thought is what is doing the thinking. The thought actually is instrumental to create a mode in us so it can enter into an environment or in a condition that it can accept the energy of the universe, and through that same way of ability, the mind can direct this energy of the universe. Which is, of course, I know you've seen Star Wars movies and talks about the Force and so on, and you direct it, it binds us and so on, and it's exactly the same. Why do I say that? Well, I'm going to try to put a excerpt of one of the seminars that I had at the local university about the end of fear, and discussion about the relationship between thought and willpower, thought and fear. And it's a very interesting seminar that you can go on my YouTube and find it. It's called The End of Fear. It's about 45, 50 minute seminar, and about a minute of it, a minute or so of it, I'm going to try to insert it in this video for you to see what I mean when I say thought is instrumental to direct this energy flow of the universe that flows throughout the universe and flows through us, passes through us, while it's on its journey from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, from all directions, up, down, left, and right, and all in between. It helps you to see what cannot be seen, because you can only see your body and you think our life is through our body, and you can't really see what really makes this body tick. And my effort in this discussion is to help you see the power of mind, which is not visible, through this exercise that I'm going to insert in here, hopefully. And you will see that actually thought is instrumental to direct this energy that flows throughout the universe and helps everything to grow and develop and survive. So I take it that you will, if I don't, I'll put a little sticker that you can go to that video and see it, but I try to insert it here. Well, we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Now, so what I'm trying to tell you is that when we ask the question of what is thought, where does it come from, I think there's something wrong with the question, because we are thought, we are consciousness. Everything that we are, the me, is the accumulation of all these that has been accumulated, the information, knowledge accumulated in my consciousness, the field of the known, which the thought had a lot to do with it, if not all, to create it. was through the thinking that it led to action, and then to an experience, and to knowledge, and knowledge gathered into my consciousness. The thought is everything. So when we ask, what is thought doing? It's like we think we are we, and the thought is outside of us. Thought is different. Where the actuality is that we are asking who we are when we think, what is thought? It's like asking, what am I? It's like asking, it's like air asking itself, what is air? Or water asking itself, what is water? And we asking ourselves, what is thought? Where does it come from? I am thought. I am thinking. I am consciousness. I am that knowledge. Thought is responsible to bring the knowledge, that the knowledge helps me to survive. So the whole idea of thought and thinking is survival. It is how I survive. It is my apparatus. It is my tool to survive. It's like I'm in the ocean and I want to survive in the ocean. I learn swimming. A frog or crawl or whatever it is, a dolphin. You swim. Through that swimming, you learn to negotiate the ocean, to survive in the ocean. That's how important swimming is. Swimming is your life, is your survival technique. Thinking is your survival technique. If there is no thinking, you can't live through thinking, which has created your consciousness. Through your consciousness, which is thinking, you negotiating life. So when you ask, what is thinking, is like asking, what is my survival? The thinking is you. The air is air. It doesn't ask itself what is air. It's swimming in it. It is what it is. The air is the question. The question is the answer. Water asks, what is water? You ask, what is thinking? I am thinking. Thinking is my tool, is my survival technique. So, there is something wrong with the question, because it's like asking me, what is survival? When you ask me, what is thought? Where does it come from? So, I want to stop here, give you a little break, and we'll continue in the next video. Talk to you soon.